Welcome to The Explainer. We're going to dive into something you do all day, every day, without even thinking about it, talking. We're going to peel back the curtain and look at the incredible hidden mechanics of how you actually produce sound. And to do that, we're going to focus on the absolute core of our language, the vowel sound.
Seriously, just take a second to think about that. Right now, your brain is processing sounds that I'm creating with this incredibly complex orchestra of muscles and air. But what's actually happening in there?
Okay, so let's get into it. Our journey doesn't start in the mouth. Nope, it starts way deeper, with the power source for this entire sound machine of yours.
That's it. Every single word, every laugh, every little sound you make, it all begins with breathing. Your chest muscles give a squeeze, they push air out of your lungs, and that creates the raw fuel, the airflow, that's about to become speech.
So here's the path that air takes. It shoots up from your lungs, goes through your larynx, your voice box, that's where your vocal cords live, and then it enters what's called the vocal tract. You can think of the vocal tract as your own personal sound-shaping studio. It's where the magic happens before the sound finally comes out of your mouth and nose.
All right, so we've got power from the lungs and a pathway. Now, let's meet the all-star team of shapers and movers that turns that simple puff of air into actual language.
And that brings us to this key term, articulators. It sounds technical, but it's really simple. These are just the parts inside your mouth and throat that you move around. They're like sculptors, molding that stream of air by changing the shape of the vocal tract to make all the different sounds of speech. And what a team it is. You've got the soft palate way at the back, the hard palate on the roof of your mouth, that little bump right behind your top teeth, that's the alveolar ridge, and of course your teeth and your lips. But the real MVP, the star player here, is without a doubt the tongue. Its flexibility is just unbelievable. Now, here's a really cool little detail. We move our jaw all the time when we talk, right? But technically, it's not a primary articulator. And that's because it can't actually make contact with the other parts on its own. It's more like a platform that just moves the other articulators, like the tongue and lips, around. Same for your nose. It's a critical resonating chamber, but not an articulator in that classic sense.
Okay, we've got the anatomy down. Now let's see this team in action. How do these articulators actually work together to make specific sounds? We're going to start with the absolute building blocks of speech, the vowels.
So here's the thing you have to remember. When we're talking about vowels, it is almost all about the tongue. Where you put it and how you shape it, that pretty much determines everything.
Let's break this down. First dimension, how high or low is your tongue? Try this with me. Go ahead and say C. C. Feel that? Feel how high your tongue is? It's almost touching the roof of your mouth. Now say cat. Cat. Feel how your tongue just drops and your jaw opens up? That's the difference right there between a closed, high vowel and an open, low one.
Okay, dimension 2 is all about which part of your tongue is doing the heavy lifting, the front or the back. So for those sounds C and cat, all the action is happening at the front of your tongue. But now try saying calm or to. Can you feel that? The tension, the work, it shifts to the back of your tongue. That's what's being raised highest.
And this little chart, this is where it all clicks. We can literally map these vowels on a simple grid. You've got E as in C up here, high in front. You've got U as in to, which is high in back. Down below, you have A as in cat, which is low and front, and Ah as in calm, low and back. That's 4 totally distinct sounds, all made just by moving your tongue along these 2 simple dimensions.
All right, so now that we've got the 4 corners of our vowel map, let's zoom out a bit and see how these same principles create the whole system of short vowels in English.
Okay, I know this table looks a little technical with all those symbols, but don't worry about them for a second. Just look at the example words. You can see we start high in front with the sound in pen, then we move down a step for bet, and then even lower for bat. And then you've got these central sounds, like in cut, which, just like the name says, are made more in the center of your mouth.
Now let's jump over to the back vowels. We've got the low back vowel in pot and the high back one in put. And notice that new detail in the description? For these sounds, we're actually using our lips too, rounding them just a little bit. It's just another layer of fine-tuning, another tool we use to get exactly the right sound.
So just like that, we've mapped out 7 different short vowels. I mean, think about that. 7 completely unique sounds, and we produce all of them just by making these tiny, tiny adjustments to our tongue's height, its position, and the shape of our lips.
And that, right there, is the truly amazing part of all this. You are the conductor of this unbelievable biological orchestra inside your own head, and you do it effortlessly, automatically, thousands and thousands of times a day. And remember, we only looked at the vowels. This is just one tiny piece of this stunningly complex and beautiful process that's happening right beneath the surface. The human body is just extraordinary, isn't it?